Alrighty, howdy folks, I'm Justin Alvey. I am the host of the Wallace 2024-2025 Main Topic Podcast. And today I'll be joined by Kathrine Meador, and we'll be talking about a variety of things, but we want to talk about her organizations that she's a part of. Specifically, you said the show choir and the Wallace State Singers. Tell me a bit about why you chose those two organizations in particular.
Well, with Wallace State Singers, it just seems like a really, really fun opportunity. You get to sing and dance and perform anywhere around here in Coleman County and everything. And then sometimes you can actually travel like we are this year. We're going to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I'm really excited about that. It'll be my first time going. But yeah, and then show choir, really anybody can join that. You don't need to audition like you do for Wallace State Singers. But for Wallace State Singers, if you are in, then you're pretty much a part of show choir as well. It's automatic. Wallace State Singers is singing and dancing, and you get to perform in little places. Like our first performance this year will be on Oktoberfest, on October 5th, the last day. And we're going to be performing 9 songs. It's all a variety of the theme of Chaos Connection, which is this year's theme for Wallace State Singers. And so we'll be doing songs like a lot of people know, Never Gonna Give You Up, Take On Me, Hard Times by Paramore. Okay. We're doing all those songs, and they're really fun to sing and dance to.
Yeah, it all sounds really good. I'll definitely have to, reserve a seat or however that looks like. Now, so you said you're performing at Oktoberfest. So what other performances do y'all have lined up?
So we have Oktoberfest, Fair Queen. We have the Spectacular here for Christmas. That'll be mainly just Christmas songs. It won't really be the ones that we have to do for Oktoberfest. And then I think we have a couple more just trustful gigs going around for Christmas and stuff like that. But our main one is the one at Washington. Okay.
Now, so when will you be going to Washington, D.C.?
It'll be during spring break, just the whole spring break, honestly. We'll be performing at 2 different places, University of Maryland, and then also just another theater. Can't exactly remember the name, but yeah, we'll be performing there. And then, of course, she gives us a lot of time to be able to explore. Well, I think we'll have 3 separate days to just go to the Smithsonian's and see everything. I am so excited. I love museums.
Yes, the Smithsonian's that'd be an adventure. I've been to a couple of them, but I was 8, so there's not much recollection there. Now, also along the lines of that performance while you're in Washington, D.C., so you said it would just be those 2 performances while you're there? How long are these performances?
Well, with all of our 9 songs we'll be performing there that we've learned so far. Just those 9 songs is around 30, 45 minutes. Okay. But we are also adding what jazz band's going to do, jazz choir, show choir. They all have songs of their own that is being added to the performance, which goes with Chaos versus Connection. So Chaos, we all have our separate songs, we have our separate things. Even in life, it's very chaotic, especially just this year. Yes. And then it all ties together when you see every single person do their performances all together. It's just a connection of America, and we're going to Washington, so we're definitely making it more patriotic a little bit. But I'm very excited to see all of it together, and some of these songs are just so amazing.
So there's almost going to be some, I guess, harmonizing, would that be the correct word to use there? Yeah. You see, I took one music appreciation class in high school, so I do know some vocabulary. But yeah, so that whole topic of, you said Chaos versus Connection, and then at the end everything does come together.
Yes.
Okay. What does that entail? So how does that connect to what you'll be doing, the choreography, the singing? What does that mean?
Well, just speaking for Wallace State Singers, our 9 songs go in a theme of chaos and connection. It's really just more of heartbreak and then realizing I'm fine. I can get back up again. I am good. I don't need to just wallow, you know? So if I'm trying to remember the order, it is still fresh in my mind. Yes. But we have Who Loves You, and then Help by the Beatles, and then Hard Times, Me and My Broken Heart, Get Back Up Again, Treat People with Kindness, and so on and so forth. But you're needing help, you're in hard times, you're broken, and then you get back up again, you are great, you're treating people with kindness, you're good again. It's pretty much just chaos of feeling broken into connection of realizing that you're okay, and that it's just going to be a fun time.
Gotcha. There's a lot of beauty in that, I think. Just the idea of telling the story with the music. I've seen that to some extent in different works of art. So along the lines of telling that story. So it's like a story of resilience is what you're saying? Okay, so, or go ahead.
Especially with going to Washington.
Yes.
Whenever she was coming up with this theme, she said that it definitely took her a second. She was unsure about what she was really going to do. And so she just took some time. She thought about where we were going to go, Washington. And most people do patriotic, mainly just performances if they go to Washington. She didn't want to just be doing the norm. She wanted to make something different that people were going to be amazed by. And so she thought of Chaos Connection. How she mainly thought of this year and just the years before, and that it's just been chaotic in our country and just in life in general. And how she just wants us to realize that even though it's very chaotic, we all can connect together for a purpose.
Yes.
And overall purpose, it'll bring us all together.
Yes, okay. So like then you get a camaraderie aspect of that. Now, speaking of the other individuals in that group, so the Wallace State Singers is comprised of 10 people. Am I right about that?
Yes, this year it is.
Yes, 10 people, and I believe you told me it varies, so it could be like 10 to 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I think last year was like around 20-something.
And now, is it typically a very female or male-dominated extracurricular, I guess, to use that terminology?
We have partner dances and stuff like that, so they definitely try to get it even. So this year it's 5 boys, 5 girls. And so we can do the partner dances together. It'll just make sense.
Well, that works out pretty well. Now, do you get to pick your partner, or are they assigned to you?
We just randomly chose while we were learning these dances. What's funny is it actually ended up being where we ended up having the same partner for all of the dances.
Okay.
So it just ended up like that. But yeah, my partner is Sam. And then there's KK and Cole and M and Elijah and Connor and Marley and Juice and Kara. That's
Juice and Kara,
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, yeah, it sounds like you had an all-star lineup, I guess to say, and I'll be looking forward to seeing those. Like you say, your first performance is Oktoberfest. Now, Kathrine, does your interest in performance arts have anything to do with what you're studying here at Wallace?
No, it actually doesn't. I'm going for diagnostic imaging, so this is my second semester, so I've already done majority of my prerequisites, but I need to wait until all the way into the end of the year so I can actually apply. And then I'm going to be applying for diagnostic imaging, but then also the radiography. They're both very similar in their classes once you get in, and hopefully I can get into at least one.
Now, along those lines, whenever you finish your time here at Wallace, or how much longer do you expect to be here at Wallace, I guess would be the better question.
Well, end this year, and then, of course, I'll be doing the track, hopefully, next year. And then I'll be able to have my associates by then with diagnostic imaging or radiography. And then I want to just go to Athens.
Yes.
And I'll be able to get a 4-year degree for that, just radiography in general.
Yes.
And then don't know if it'll happen, but I want to go into the Air Force with it.
Okay.
And just become an officer working in radiology.
What about the Air Force? Is a whole new door.
Yeah.
What makes you, I guess, interested in the Air Force in particular?
Well, when I was a freshman in high school, that's when I first joined ROTC. Now I was a part of Navy, and this was when I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So I've traveled a couple places, but I just had so much fun, just like anybody else would in ROTC. I loved doing drills, flipping the rifle, stuff like that. But whenever I looked deeper into the military, just Air Force was definitely a place that I would want to join. And also, my papa was also in Air Force, just keeping it in the family, really.
Yes, yeah.
And so I kind of let that dream go a little bit over the years. And then when I realized that I was wanting to go for diagnostic imaging, that I could possibly join the Air Force, just already having a degree in that, and then become an officer.
Yes.
Doing that seemed like a better plan to me.
I'm guessing you got backup plans for stuff too?
Yeah, I work at Publix, and they really want to put me in a manager position, like most places. But yeah, if I just got a business degree, and I could do that, because Publix managers, if you keep building up, it's a good career. But that would probably be my backup. But I want to do something with health, just in general, medical, all that. So who knows if diagnostic imaging, radiology, that don't work, maybe I can find something else.
Here in diagnostic imaging and performing arts, and these two things obviously seem pretty different. So what brings you to performance arts in particular?
Well, what brings me to performing arts is mainly just because ever since I was little, I've done stuff with theater, with music, just all that stuff. And I stopped doing it for a while, like all through high school. I really didn't do anything. And I didn't expect whenever I would come to Wallace that I would be doing anything like this. Now, my family, they kind of pushed me into this.
That's what families are for, right?
Right. They saw that I had talent, and they saw that I was not using it, and they loved to hear me sing and dance and all that stuff. And so they kind of forced me to go to the auditions.
Okay.
And I did, and by my surprise, she actually picked me
Okay.
to be one of the people. And I mean, since then, it's been busy, but it's been really fun, and honestly very easy for me to remember the songs and dance moves a lot more than I thought it would. But I mean, I don't expect to actually make this a career, but I mean, who knows in the years to come, maybe this will push me to actually want to do this as a career. But with me wanting to go for diagnostic imaging, I mean, that's, like you said, it's completely different. With diagnostic imaging, it mainly is just wanting to help people in like a medical way.
Now, if you were to get some just amazing opportunity, somebody was to come, knocking on your door, and you think it'd be like a door-to-door salesman, but in reality, it's actually not a door-to-door salesman. Instead, it is this unnamed individual that has, a lot of resources, a lot of money, a lot of time to devote towards stuff like singing and choreography and stuff like that. Do you think if you were able to live comfortably with that money or whatever this individual is willing to offer, would you choose performing arts if you could?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely? Okay.
Yeah. Throughout my years, if you're choosing a career for your life, everybody changes it 100 billion times. And so my first ever choice for what I was wanting to do as a career was actually to be a worship leader.
Okay.
And I was going to go to SEU in Florida, and I was going to do all that, and it was going to be so much fun. But it just ended up not having the future that I planned. I mean, it was mainly a choice of my family that, like, hey, here's all the negatives, and here's all the positives. There's a little bit more negatives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine.
Okay.
So I decided not to do that. But my first choice was in singing and doing all that. So if I had the choice and someone came up with a bunch of money and I would be able to live comfortably while doing performing arts, I would definitely choose it.
Choose performing arts. Okay. All right. And I understand that question probably puts you on the spot a little bit, but that's a good answer. Along those lines, I guess back to diagnostic imagery a little bit. After you go to Athens and your plan, starts to, I guess, come together, and then you get to go do your thing at wherever. And you said you didn't have any particular clinic or hospital you were looking at?
No, I don't.
Okay. So whenever that all comes together, that's when you're hoping to look into the Air Force or even other avenues?
Yeah. The way I choose my career and what I want for my future, my main goal is, do I have a safety net behind me? Do I have a way to where I can retire at a nice age? What everybody really wants whenever they start a career. Am I going to be able to retire at a nice age? Am I going to be able to take care of my family and stuff like that? But just because I've had people in my life that I've seen, they go to job throughout their life. They're never at a steady place. And then they're working until like they're freaking 70 years old.
Yeah.
Some people like that. Like I work in the meat and seafood area at Publix, and I have a coworker of mine. His name is Arthur. He is 77 years old in the meat department. He's still working and he's having a fun time. He doesn't want to leave. But for me, I'm not that kind of person. I want to be able to retire at a good age, to live the rest of my days happily, just volunteering at church,
Yeah.
and just living the rest of my days until I'm up there.
Oh, yeah. And you talked about being involved with church, and your original career path was to be a worship leader. So are you involved with any level of worship leading at the church you're at right now, or churches, or?
So I go to Daystar, the Coleman campus. They have a couple different campuses, but I am just a volunteer on Wednesdays sometimes with the youth, middle school, high school. But then also I just worship and sing when everybody else does. Really, Daystar has more of a concert kind of worship. I mean, I love it. I'm used to that. But you have to audition and all that, and I just haven't really had time. But I mean, if I could, that would be fun.
Because I have heard you sing. You've come to my church.
Yeah.
Well, on multiple occasions, right?
Well, yeah, my grandparents go there.
yes, that is true. So they've kind of got you've got them in your corner, or maybe in your ear, trying to get you over there and singing.
7th Street.
Yes, at 7th Street Baptist Church. Yeah. Alrighty. So why Wallace in particular, and what led up to Wallace? So what was high school like, and do you think that had some profound impact on you ending up here?
Well, in high school, I started at Gulf Shores High School in Alabama, and then I had to move to Florida, and I was there at Land O'Lakes High School in Florida for sophomore and junior year, and then my senior year, I went to a different school. I was at Pasco High School in Florida.
Okay.
But like I said, all those 4 years, I didn't really do any performing arts, anything like that, and I was way off on unsure about what I even wanted to do for a career. But I knew, by the end of my senior year, that I wanted to leave Florida and finally go back home here in Coleman, Alabama, to my family, because really the only people I had in Florida was me, my sister that I lived with, and my brother-in-law. It was just us three. So we all finally moved back, and I've been here since, I think it's actually a little over a year now. I got back here in September. But yeah, once I got here, I wanted to start in college right after high school, but it just wasn't in the stars. I ended up working for a year just at Publix, just trying to get some money. And then now I've finally just dove right in and done full college experience. And I mean, I'm really happy that I waited. I think this is a great school to start with. I wasn't that interested in any of the schools in Florida, and it just wasn't the right time for me to move back by the time that I was done with my senior year. At Wallace, my sister went here, my brother went here. I mainly just came here because family. But now that I'm here, I didn't expect to actually participate and join in. I just wanted to get my classes done and leave. But it's actually been really fun joining in and participating in all the stuff, all the activities and everything that Wallace State actually has. It's actually really fun.
Now, what about on your academic side? So what classes are you taking this semester? And are there any that you're just really, really happy about that you're in?
So you know how everybody's always like, oh, I'm an English person or I'm a math person.
Yes.
I would say I'm more of an English person, but this semester, I'm actually loving my math class, and I'm very confused.
Yes, I can see that being very confusing.
I have always hated math. It's my first math class here at Wallace, so it's the basics. I have finite mathematics, but all the probability and logistics and all that is actually really fun, and I did not think I would like that. So that's been an experience this semester. But I've also learned to write essays in 40 minutes, which
that's a good skill to have. Yeah.
Good skill to have here. I've definitely already had to write 3 essays since the semester started. So I'm glad that I know how to write an essay pretty quick. I can definitely do that.
Okay. Yeah, and that could even be really good quality, especially whenever you're trying to come up with stuff on the fly to answer questions that somebody might hypothetically ask you on a main topic podcast. But it's just a scenario, right? So switching gears back to performing arts and the Wallace State Singers, you said it was a small group, about 10 people is what you said, 5 guys, 5 girls. So is there almost a sense of y'all being a family and knowing each other really well and having just really strong bonds, and just being real cohesive, I guess?
Yeah, for such a small group, you definitely can't hide from each other. Already, from auditions, we were all so close, and then we actually had a boot camp just a week before the semester started where we went over all the dances, got to really know each other and all that. And I think it was for a whole week, every single day, if we had a break or anything, we all went and ate somewhere in Coleman, or we stayed close to each other and we hung out and talked every single day. And even now, like, we'll cut up with each other, like, and we're really not embarrassed around each other, especially the guys. Because we dance and stuff, so we'll just put on random music to warm up and stuff like that. And everybody's just dancing, jumping around, not even caring. It's just a really free group. I mean, no embarrassment, no judgment. It's just really fun to be a part of. And I'm glad to have auditioned and actually be a part of this group. I'm really excited for the rest of this year to see what it's like. But yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds great. Definitely being in that smaller group and being able to have that kind of synergy. So along those lines, is there anybody in particular, you don't have to name drop unless you just want to, but is there anybody in particular that is just the glue that really keeps everybody grounded and held together? If God forbid there was any, like any conflict or anything, would there be like one person who would be like, no, we're going to solve it this way and we're going to keep y'all together and this is how we're going to do it?
Well, the thing is, already, like, I'm gonna name drop.
Oh.
So, she's our dance captain. We have a singing chorus captain and then a dance captain.
Okay.
Connor's our singing, like, chorus captain, and then M is our dance. She always comes up with, she's like the mom of the group, honestly. Okay. She always has everything we need. We always come to her for questions and stuff like that. And she's just hilarious. And if we're all nervous and stuff, especially in the beginning, she was the one that was just like, get us out of the wiggles and like just have us like, hey, this is not as serious as you come up with it in your head. Like, we're going to have such a fun time. Don't even think about being nervous. And then Connor honestly would probably be like the dad of the group. Okay. He's just so chill and kind, and if we're ever nervous, like I said, he's just a very calming presence to be around and so nice. And then Cole, Sam, Elijah, just all the guys really, they are so funny. They like Cole. There was one day that I was just in the middle of the dance room and everybody was talking around me. I'm giving you the scenario. You ready?
Oh yes, I am ready.
This is how it is on a daily basis. Oh. So I'm in the middle, just people watching. I have in this corner, I have M and Lillian, which is one of our dance choreographers that come in. They're talking about dance moves because we're about to do choreography, and they're just having a normal conversation. On this end, we have Kara, KK, and Elijah just messing around. Elijah is pretending to be like he's in a video game. Okay. He is literally doing the weird movements and stuff like that, and he's like pretending to shoot power things at Kara and KK. And then the rest of us, Connor, Marley, and Juice and I, we're just watching everything. And we're just like, what is happening right now? But yeah, that's on a daily basis. Oh,
okay, yes.
So it's just so carefree and so funny. And there's never a moment where you're not laughing. It is just a really good group to be a part of. But yeah, that's like a scenario of how it is on a daily basis.
Sweet. Now how often are y'all together? So like, what is y'all's practice schedule?
Our practice schedule is, we actually see each other Monday through Thursday. Our first classes are 9:30 to like 10:45. But yeah, those are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we meet for show choir on Tuesdays, 1 to 2:15. But yeah, and then the past like 3 Fridays, we've also come in for like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. choreography days. But yeah, so we're together a lot. Yeah.
Have you just been overjoyed, like learning all the different personalities and getting to know everybody?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of the quieter ones. I'm just, like I said, I like to people watch. Okay. So, but it's so much fun. I don't even have to say anything, and like I just feel like I'm still part of the group. Like even if I'm like in the corner just reading on my phone or anything, like nobody ever leaves anybody behind. Like everybody is always a part of the group. Nobody's left behind. So it is very nice and just warming.
Now, Kathrine, I I'm glad to have you on. Thank you for joining me today on this rainy Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. My name is Justin Alvey. This has been Season 2, Episode 1 of the Main Topic Podcast. We just want to thank everybody that was involved in the creation of this episode. In particular, I want to thank the Communication and Marketing Department for Wallace State, and also want to thank the viewers. I hope you'll tune in on the next episode, wherever it is that you find yourself listening to us.